up, beautiful people? It's Wolfbrother Mythos Kushranada from the channel Frost and Fists, and welcome to this very short Wolfbrother Wednesday. So, a couple of things I want to cover with you guys. First of all, a personal update. You guys have probably noticed that videos on this channel have kind of slowed to a trickle, and that's largely my fault. I have had literally one full day off in the last 3 weeks, and so just work's got me busy and hustling, and I have not made a lot of time for the channel with the reduction in time. So I apologize for that. In fact, my teammates are doing their part. Freak's working on a battle report right now. Shroud has recorded both a lore bites for me and a one of his Monday book reports, and I just haven't gotten around to editing them yet. So like I said, I've just been swamped. So you guys know how it is with work and everything like that. Sometimes it can get in the way of the hobby a little bit, and that's kind of what's happened to me here. But you guys aren't here for my excuses. I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. So I am going to try and pick it back up this week. I'm going to try and get out a couple more videos, and I'm going to just do that with this very short, very brief Wolfbrother Wednesday. Not a lot on the hobby front because I was out of town all weekend working in another town. They called me in as a subject matter expert to help kind of train and teach some of the behavioral safety stuff that I do for the job to another one of our sites. And I went down there and I helped them out. The company was good to me, put me up in a little hotel. I got to spend some time in that other town in a hotel, eating some good food. I spent a little time with the family. It was a pretty good deal. So, did take away from my hobby, but we got to make those sacrifices once in a while to make that money. So looking forward to getting some of that cash in, because we need it. We do need money in this expensive hobby of ours. That hobby crack's got to come from somewhere. All right, so since I don't have much of a hobby update, I'm gonna let you know what I'm working on. First of all, I'm working on a few characters from the Minotaur set. I'm working on Moloch. I'm working on Comey. I'm working on Moloch and his right hand man. I'm working on a Primaris librarian. I'm working on a Vindicare assassin, and I'm working on one additional Marine dude, because in my client's next list up, he's going from he just did 2 weeks at 750 points, and then his next step in his escalation league will be 1,000. So he's going to take Moloch with him and one more Marine. So that's exactly what I'm doing this week. I'm actually going to try and have Moloch, his right-hand man, and the Marine all ready to go by then. And then I'll start working on my next list. So I'm really excited about getting all this cranked out. So that being said, I'm going to go from my hobby update into the Q&A portion of the Q&A portion of the show. And right here, guys, I've only got 3 questions because last 2 weeks I did a live show, and therefore I was able to answer all the questions on the spot. So that's cool. I want to keep the show real brief this time. I'm still working on that commission, of course, so I'm enjoying that. I'm going to have a briefer show this go around, but I'm still going to get to chat with you guys, my YouTube friends and family. My first question comes from Pete on Q&S, and man, I love chatting with this guy, and I love that he does this forum that we can chat with him, this YouTube rock star, and be part of his conversation every week. And he says, "Are you a nostalgic person by nature, and what sets off your nostalgia?" I am a very nostalgic person, to the point where I'm sure it probably gets on my wife's nerves sometimes. When me and my friends get together, especially if we crack open a drink or two, you can guarantee that the main thing we're going to do is sit around and tell stories of experiences that happened to us as a group or as a couple of us, and we're the type to sit around, sip on drinks, and relive the old stories over and over and over again. Hey, remember that time? Those type of things. But I just, I love making, first of all, I love people, and those that get real close to me, I enjoy making memories of them, and then I love retelling and reliving those memories. So, I don't know, just because I'm a people person, I guess, but all these people that I'm connected to, I like going over those memories over and over again. Also, just anything, especially me and my brother Darklight Dreamer. Anything that takes us back to our childhood. And then usually we have the same Asian foods or smells. Will all take us back to some of the same events. That's always cool. And then, of course, I like the little things that you do in a relationship, little inside jokes and everything like that take you back to a memory. For instance, when my wife and I first got together, the sound of Murloc makes. Yes, in World of Warcraft, you get attacked by these little fish people called Murlocs, and when one comes at you, they growl in their little reptilian way, and like 50 more come at you. Oh! And anyways, so every once in a while around the store, we used to work at a GameStop, and we all make a little sound to each other every once in a while. At the time, not only did we have that, but when we were first flirting, also, I was introducing her to some of my music, metal music, and every once in a while I'll be singing along to some of the music, and I would be doing the metal music growling along to it. For instance, at the end of Keep Away by Godsmack, he really gets into it with the growling, never misunderstand me, never misunderstand me, never misunderstand me, yeah, and I'd growl like that, to end the song, and I'd really get into it, singing, growling, and then, she would do the Murloc sound back to me, and we would have this running gag between each other. Again, this is when we were first getting together, first flirting with each other. We would tease each other that we both sound sexy when we speak Murloc to each other. So anyways, now to this day, anytime that we hear, a Murloc growl, we always think of when we were first started flirting with each other and getting together. And it's just this cute little, memory invoker that we have. But just little things like that. So, I don't know, with family, a lot of times it's Asian smells, scents, Asian experiences usually take me and my brother back to childhood. With friends and family, usually it's drinks and telling stories over our past accomplishments and adventures. And then, interpersonal relationships, like that memory with my wife, the little inside jokes that you have, that can definitely put me in a nostalgic mood. So, yeah, I definitely am a nostalgic person because I like to relive those experiences. Great question, Pete. Next, I have my brother Steve over at Who Took My Dice Miniature Wargaming. And he says, boxers or briefs, we demand the truth. All right, well, you asked for that. So anybody who is, wary of the TMI factor, go ahead and mute me right here. But don't turn me off, because I have something at the end I want to tell everybody of all these questions. But the answer to your question, Steve, is it's got to be boxers. Okay? Not to put too much information out there, but I don't like that tight of a grip on my business, okay? So they gotta have some freedom, gotta be able to breathe. You asked, my man, so there's my answer. And then Joe over. Oh, guys, you can unmute me now. Joe over at Green Stuff Games. By the way, Joe, congratulations on your first game with your orcs, winning and all that close combat glory. Congratulations. And Joe asks, what, aside from this hobby that we have, what are our other nerdy vices? Joe, my lady, you could dissect everything about my life, and it's all full of nerdy vices. I mean, we have an annual vacation we go on. It's got to be A-Con, one of the biggest anime conventions and longest running anime conventions in the U.S. Anime is a nerdy vice of mine. Video games, especially, the extra nerdy RPGs and stuff like that. MMOs, massive multiplayer online games. The fact that I was a manager at GameStop for years just so I could get a discount. I love comic books. I love Pokemon. I love, yeah, I mean, I have a lot of nerdy vices. Am I missing anything? Have I left out anything extra nerdy? I'm a big Doctor Who fan. By the way, I saw a battle report today. I think Jewel Knight Jess's first battle report, and as part of her terrain on the table, she had a little TARDIS. That was awesome.
Various swords and other...
There are literally there are well over a dozen swords around my apartment right now. There's a whip, a couple of bows, staves. We've just got an assortment of nerdy awesomeness.
Oh, and there's my sword.
Oh, and my wife has a double-sided swallow blade, so that's pretty awesome. It's in a katana cut fashion, but yeah, that's pretty awesome. So we've got just dozens of nerdy devices all over our house. Probably more than dozens, but it's just you could dissect my entire life and point to it and say, "There's a nerdy device." Just that's the way we roll. As a Hardison from the show Leverage would say, it's the age of the geek, baby. Great question, Joe. And guys, that is the end of the questions that I have. Now, what I would like to do for the end of this show, in fact, that's going to be the title of the show, what I really want you to do, since you guys, normally I talk for at least 30 minutes, usually closer to an hour, so this extra time you would normally be watching Wolfbrother Wednesday, and what I want you to do is go over to the show, Big Mek Danskull show, and watch his Thoughty K, Warhammer Thoughty K episode from this past Sunday. Okay, check it out here, ka-chow. And what he did is he did an entire episode on changing the color schemes for your army, and on alternate color schemes that maybe aren't traditional to your army. And as part of that, he did a little interview with, now, a very small part of the episode. I mean, he's got an entire episode well thought out, well informed, and just, really well put together episode here. And there's just a small part of that, just a tiny part. He interviewed, just a little text interview. He just asked me a few questions and asked me about my Silvermoon Space Wolves and, why I painted them that way and why I went with that color scheme, and, are there any storyline related reasons to them? So, if you guys want to know why my Silvermoon Wolves are black and silver, and the in-story reason for them to be black and silver, I haven't revealed that yet on this show. Mostly because I'm still fact-checking to make sure that the entire thing that I have for my storyline so far matches up correctly. But this little snippet, is already ready to go. If you want to know why the Silvermoon Wolves are black and silver and the secret behind their name, the Silvermoon Wolves, go check out his channel. Go watch Warhammer Thoughty K with Big Mek Danskull. You won't regret it. And I definitely recommend that you subscribe and watch his Warhammer Thoughty K every week, because it is always excellent, well-spoken, well-thought-out material that'll get your brain piece thinking. So definitely check him out, and I would consider that a personal favor. Alright guys, well, thank you so much for joining me today on Wolfbrother Wednesday. If you like this episode, then grab up an axe and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. And of course, drop me some comments down below. Let me know what you think of today's episode. And I forgot the question of the week, so just real quick, I'm going to insert right here. Guys, if one thing I got a few comments, and some people last week said, there was at least one person last week that said that they loved the new live format that I was doing for Wolfbrother Wednesday, and on the other hand, I had someone else say that they missed the old format of the show. And right here we have kind of a third format that's kind of like the old format, but trying to keep it under 15 minutes maybe. So, just a real brief, quick chat with you guys. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know what you guys want most. If you want me to keep doing it live, I will keep doing it live. If you guys want to see a more structured way that I have been doing Wolfbrother Wednesday up until I started doing the live, then I will do that too. Whatever you guys want. But I will tell you that because this Minotaur's commission is so large, and I want to be able to put as much work into this as possible, at least until the end of that commission, for the next few weeks, whether it's live or whether it's pre-recorded, I am going to do kind of this, like now, just
a little bit shorter, and definitely not a whole lot of editing in. You know, it's all going to be one take, low edit, you know, brighten her up, put the logo on, Legion of GAMZA intro, and let's roll. So, no matter what you guys vote for, it is going to be kept very brief and low edited. Just because I want to be able to dedicate time to my, you know, my client's work. But yeah, Wolfbrother Wednesday live, old school format, pre-recorded. You know, let me know what you guys want to see, and I will definitely try and make it happen, whichever way you guys tell me that you want it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and if you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel, then Freakmeister, Shroud, and I would all love to have you as part of the pack here on the Frost and Fist. Until next time, guys, stay frosty.